Three words or less. Jeb Bush.
Out of touch, overrated, and weak.
Overrated, competent.
Shannon, Jeb Bush.
Underwhelming, underdog, fighter, underdog.
I think he would be overshadowed.
Experienced, well composed.
Experienced, but I think he at the same time has a lot of baggage.
Electoral indifference toward Jeb Bush, a recurring theme among voters in early states, according to Bloomberg Politics focus groups in Iowa and New Hampshire. Now, Jeb's campaign paints him as the only conservative with the experience and skill to actually be president, but that may not be the best of selling points. According to the Pew Research Center, only 29% of Americans believe experience and a proven record are the most important characteristic in a candidate. So what about the other 71% of voters? How will Jeb connect with them? For more, let's welcome in Bill Schuette, the Attorney General for the state of Michigan. He's also chairman of the Bush presidential campaign in that state and the author of the new book, Big Lessons from a Small Town. Bill joins us tonight from Newsmax, Washington. We really appreciate your time here on Newsmax Prime.
Well, JD, thank you very much and good evening. What a privilege it is to be on Newsmax, and thanks for giving me a plug on that new book, Big Lessons from a Small Town. I'm thrilled to be with you.
And we're going to get to the book in a second, but first, let's talk about your candidate, Jeb Bush. What is his plan to draw in these voters who are disinterested or indifferent?
Well, you know, I call Jeb Bush conservative, great record, and the best person able to beat Hillary Clinton in November. And this is all about making sure we retake the White House and move America in a new direction. And Jeb has a strong record. And, you know, this campaign, JD, is like, you know, it's Mad Max and Thunderdome. 16 people enter, one person leaves, with Tina Turner singing in the outside, you know. And Jeb is he's the stamina guy, able to go the distance. That's why we're going to win.
And, of course, to go the distance, he's had to pull in his campaign somewhat, slash the budget, lessen salaries, kind of make it leaner, if not meaner. Is that going to help him down the line?
Well, I'd call it smart. I'd call it good budgeting. We got four first big primaries, you know, after the first of the year. And so we're redirecting all our resources and staff to making sure that we have a strong showing in those four primaries. So I'd call it really smart, business-like approach to winning the presidency. And this is really, this is a marathon, and Jeb's the marathon man. And a big debate coming up this evening, obviously, that's important. But it's able to go the distance. And Jeb has the resources, the message, and the campaign. And this is a guy who reduced taxes by $19 billion in the state of Florida, had this creative and imaginative school choice program where third grade reading scores went up. That means hope and opportunity was better in grasp of students all across the state of Florida. And those are credentials I think that'll count and it'll pay off in the long run.
All right, we're going to hear from the candidate a bit later on this program. Now let's hear from you about this new book. As a guy who grew up in Midland, Michigan, what have you learned that you want to share with us in this book? 45 seconds,
You know,
please,
I
sir.
grew up smack dab in the middle of a small town called Midland, Michigan, and learned a lot of important values. And this is not my book, Big Lessons from a Small Town, it's not a memoir or autobiography. It's about life lessons I've learned from some life coaches. And some of these will be presidents of the United States or cabinet members, or maybe my football coach who made sure when you throw an interception that you dust yourself off, you get up and throw touchdowns. And it's about adversity, and it's also about faith and family, and these are life lessons, some of which I wish I would have learned earlier. But I think if you're running for township supervisor, or maybe work for the big brothers or big sisters, it's about relationships, it's about lessons, and it's about you have to serve before you lead. That's the essence of Big Lessons from a small town.
Experience the best teacher. You pass along that experience in your new book, Big Lessons from a Small Town. Michigan Attorney General Bill Schuette, both for your talk about the book and the Bush campaign. We thank you very much for your time. Well, you heard what the general had to say. Do you agree with him about the Bush campaign? Send me your comments at newsmaxtv.com/comments. Up next, our political panel. So keep it right here.